The Maelstrom Hunter by Crimson QB Sage, Chapter 28, Eyes That See in the Dark. Previously, to Team Ruby and Archfiend, your team has been selected to participate in the upcoming Vital Festival tournament. To prepare you for such event, you and your team have been assigned a seasoned senior huntsman to train you in the coming month's time. Good luck. You've left us no choice. The Vital Festival tournament cannot be broadcast, let alone held, if we are unable to ensure the safety of the citizens. Therefore, we have reached out to the Atlas Council, and together we have decided that the best action is to appoint General Ironwood as head of security for the event. I'm going to give you one chance. Who's really behind all this? He's like no one you've ever seen before. Where he's from, if they knew of his presence, they would call him a ghost, and I can fully agree with that. Konagakari, he's a legend from Konagakari. His name, infamous even today. Oh, Dust, he's gonna kill me either way. I'm a dead man either way. I tried to tell you who he is, and I'm dead in an instant. I stay silent, and I tell you nothing. And to tell you nothing, he'll kill me himself. He doesn't accept failure from his lackeys. Roman Torchwick is dead, killed by some kind of restriction seal. Need to meet and discuss what was discovered. Their representatives from Kumagakure are here. Welcome to Beacon Academy. You must be Kumagakure's representatives. Yo, back a few hours ago when me and my bro came here, there was an attack that was real near. Me and Eito saw and felt the presence of 4, 5, 7, and 9-0. And don't you know, the best one to train those fall to be great Jinchuriki be me, the rapping and rhythm Kiribi, we, those stupid kids really made a mess of this. A lot of Faunus didn't make it out of the tunnels. You still think the White Fang is gonna listen to us? No, but they'll listen to me. Who are you? Yang, we have a lot to talk about. Emerald Forest. The clouds rolled across the dark night skies, shrouded the fragmented moon from the world. A rustling sound came from the bushes, and Sasuke emerged from the thick brush of vegetation. Sakura, where are you? Sasuke called out, glancing down on the pillar of the light coming from his scroll. Sasuke-kun, come out to the Emerald Forest. We need to talk, was what the message said. Of course, Sasuke was suspicious about the message being so vague. For all he knew, it could be a trap of some kind, which was why Sasuke had decided to bring along his weapon, a chokuto by the name of Kusanagi no Tsurugi. As Sasuke immediately first up, feeling another presence nearby, the last loyal Uchiha slowly drew his blade, getting into a fighting stance and activating his Sharingan. That Sharingan! How much can you actually see? Itachi's voice echoed as he walked into the clearing. Itachi! Sasuke muttered, his eyes narrowing as his grip on Kusanagi no Tsurugi tightened. He was about to charge forward at Itachi, but abruptly stopped when the older Uchiha began violently coughing. His hands covered his mouth as a combination of blood and saliva spat out of his mouth. It's been a while, Ototo, Itachi weakly stated, panting as he recovered from his coughing fit. What, Itachi? What happened to you? Sasuke asked. Itachi said nothing, quickly rushing towards his brother, to his younger brother, and activating his Sharingan midway. He pulled out a Tanto and slashed at Sasuke. Fine, if that's how it's going to be, Sasuke exclaimed, blocking the strike from Itachi's Tanto. Kusanagi no Tsuragi Chidori Katana. He yelled, channeling a Chidori through his Chokuto. Itachi jumped back to avoid the electrified attack. Katan Hoseka no Jutsu, Itachi yelled, creating a volley of small fireballs that were sent flying in an unpredictable manner towards Sasuke, who used the Shunshin no Jutsu to evade the incoming fireballs. Chidori Senbon, Sasuke exclaimed, reappearing a few yards behind Itachi and firing off Senbon sindos made of lightning chakra at the older Uchiha. Katan, Gyukyukiyo no Jutsu, Itachi exclaimed, going through various hand seals before firing off a large fireball at Sasuke. Chakuro no Meso, Sasuke exclaimed, Sakura exclaimed, jumping out at a surprised Itachi, though his face conveyed no such emotions. Uchiha strafed to the left to dodge the incoming attack, but was not able to move fast enough, his right shoulder being struck by the Chidori blades. Genjutsu Sharingan, Itachi yelled, looking Sakura in the eyes and catching her in an illusion. Chidori Nagashi, Sasuke yelled, striking Itachi in the back. Itachi grunted in pain, causing the Shunshin no Jutsu to escape. Genjutsu Kai, Sasuke said, placing his hand on Sakura and releasing the illusion she was under. Sasuke-kun, Sakura exclaimed. What are you doing here? Sasuke yelled. I sort of was stalking you, Sakura mentally said. I saw you going into the forest and got curious, and now I'm going to help you. I don't want your help. This is my fight, Sasuke exclaimed, only to be grabbed by the scruff of his shirt by Sakura and given a glare that, but up to now, had only been reserved for the days of the original Team 7 whenever Naruto did something stupid. You're going to accept my help, Kami, damn it, whether you like it or not, Sakura yelled, releasing her grip on Sasuke, who now had a slight tinge of red on his face. Why am I attracted to this? Sasuke mentally questioned himself. Monkey Kill Sharingan, Itachi said, reappearing in front of Sasuke, his Sharingan having morphed into its pinwheel pattern. Faster than Sasuke could react, Itachi kicked him in the gut and sent him flying back into the nearest tree, creating a crater upon impact. Sasuke-kun! Sakura yelled. Sasuke attempted to stand back up, for Chidori in one hand, but releasing the lightning jutsu when Itachi grabbed his wrist, stepped on his foot, and punched him in the gut. Forgive me, Sasuke. This is my reality, Itachi mumbled, placing his index and middle finger on the top of Itachi's left eye and his thumb just below Sasuke's eye. Give me your light. Ah! Sasuke cried out, grabbing his now empty eye socket, blood dripping down onto the grass. I told you, you do not possess the Monkey Sharingan. You can never win against my eyes, Itachi stated, Sasuke shakingly looking down at his now blood-covered hand. I'll take the other one too. Oika, sorry. Sakura yelled, charging Itachi only to be intercepted by an Itachi clone. Bunshin Daikaku, the clone said, the ensuing explosion engulfing both himself and Sakura. Ah! Sakura exclaimed. Sakura-chan! Sasuke exclaimed, tears spilling down from his one good eye, and blood tears from his other. It was then that Itachi began to notice Sasuke's eye changing. His Sharingan pattern began to spread and converge along the edges of the irises, resulting in three interceptive ellipses that resembled an atomic model. You've done it, Oto. You finally unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi stated, looking down at the eye in his hand only to find the same pattern as Sasuke's eye. You bastard! You killed her! Sasuke yelled, tackling Itachi down to the ground. He exclaimed, releasing his pent-up rage onto Itachi as his fists burrowed their way into the latter. Sasuke kept pounding his fists into Itachi for a minute before his beating began to slow down. They continued to slow down as Sasuke began to cry, mourning for Sakura. Oto, Itachi called out, shakingly raising his hand up to his younger brother's head. With one swift movement, just as fast as he had put it out, Itachi had reimplanted Sasuke's Sharingan eye. Why, Ni-san? Why? Sasuke yelled. It had to be done, Itachi replied. For the sake of the clan. Is this what had to be paid for the ultimate power? Sasuke exclaimed. I don't want it. Take these cursed eyes away. Give me back Sakura-chan. That is the price, Itachi said. Is this what you wanted from me, Ni-san? Is this what you wanted? Sasuke yelled. Yes, Itachi replied, causing Sasuke's eyes to widen by a fraction. For you to avenge the clan by killing me? What do you mean? Sasuke asked. She's still, alive, Itachi stated, his voice becoming softer as he spoke, causing Sasuke's eyes to widen. Sakura-chan, Sasuke called out, looking around for the pink head and all but forgetting his previous question. Sasuke-kun, Sakura weakly replied, her body leaning against a nearby tree. Sakura-chan, Sasuke exclaimed, running towards his teammate and cradling her in his arms. Sasuke-kun, Sakura stated. It's okay, Sasuke said, shifting Sakura around so that he was hugging her. I thought I lost you. I'm not going anywhere, Sasuke-kun, Sakura said, a blush present on both teens' faces. In some way, I envied you, Oto, to have someone who truly cares for you, Itachi said, breaking into another fit of violent coughs. How touching. Unfortunately, we'll have to interrupt this event, a new voice called out. Setsu, Itachi exclaimed, attempting to push himself up off the ground. Who's out there? Show yourself, Itachi called out, fully prepared to defend Sakura. It's Setsu. The Akatsuki stops by, Itachi said. If you want me to show myself, all you have to do is ask, Setsu said, appearing out of the ground. Setsu was a strange humanoid creature, split half black and half white, wearing the Akatsuki cloak over a Venus flytrap-like extension. What do you want? Sasuke questioned him. Oh, well, nothing much. Just his eyes, Setsu replied. Oto, you can't let him take my eyes, Itachi exclaimed. Don't worry, Itachi-kun. You won't be needing these eyes once you're dead, Setsu said. Chidori Iso, Sasuke yelled, firing off a thin spear of lightning at Setsu. Mokuton Chikiratsu no Jutsu, Setsu exclaimed, causing large roots to shoot out at the duo. Sakura-chan, grab Itachi-san, Sasuke exclaimed, the pink cat doing as told, quickly grabbing Itachi and evading the incoming roots. Katan, Karyudan, he said, exhaling a stream of flames from his mouth and burning the majority of the roots, only for the charred roots to be replaced by even more roots. The roots are growing back, Sakura exclaimed. Sasuke's left eye began to bleed, widening and further accentuating the Mankyo Sharingan. Amaterasu, Sasuke yelled, black flames spreading out of his left eye, and burning the roots faster and more efficiently than any other fire jutsu could. Amaterasu, one of the Akira jutsus of the Sharingan, Itachi muttered. It's Sakura Haruno, was it? Yeah, Sakura said questionably. I have a favor I need to ask of you, Itachi said. Oh ho! Sasuke appeared to have unlocked one of the Mangekyo's abilities, Setsu stated cheerfully as he evaded the unquenchable flames. Burn! Sasuke exclaimed, more just a flame back black flames sprouted from his eye. I'd love to stay and play some more, but I have a tight schedule to keep up with, Setsu said, sinking into the ground with a sinister laugh. I'll also be taking this with me. He finished popping onto the ground beside Sakura and Itachi, quickly grabbing the latter and pulling him under him. No! Sasuke yelled, running towards Sakura, but was too late. Oh, a party! Can I join in? A new voice called out. Sasuke and Sakura quickly turned to find a strange white creature with a spiral-like face. Guru. So nice of you to finally join us, despite the fact that you're 3 hours late. Don't tell me you were doing your research, Setsu stated, the black half gaining a tick mark. So means Kuro Setsu. You know that my burning passion to discover the feeling of pooping outweighs your commands, the creature now identified as Guru stated. What should we do, Sakura-chan? Sasuke whispered. I'll call for help, Sakura replied, pulling out her scroll and sending a message out for help. You two do realize that we can hear you, right? Because there's no need to whisper, Guru called out, causing the two shinobi to freeze in place. Deal with them, Setsu said, sinking back into the ground with Itachi in tow. Itachi! Sasuke yelled. Hi, Karu Setsu, Gurugugu exclaimed, giving a mock salute towards Setsu before jumping down near Sakura and Sasuke. Before you two die, would you mind telling me in vivid detail what the feeling of pooping is like? How about no? Sakura said, charging forward with a chakra-enhanced punch at Gurugugu, only to have the spiral-like creature to catch her fist. Oh, you can do super-enhanced punches too? Not as great as telling me what excretion feels like, but hey, you want to see my super punch? Gurugugu said, punching Sakura in the gut and sending her crashing into a tree. Katan, Goku Kaikyu no Jutsu, Sasuke exclaimed, expelling a massive orb of fire from his mouth at Gurugugu. Wow, well, that was a close one, don't you think? Gurugugu questioned, patting down the flames on its right arm. Chidori Senbon, Sasuke yelled, firing off a volley of senbons formed from lightning chakra at the rather annoying creature. Gurugugu just continued to dodge the incoming attacks, all the while mocking the young Uchiha. Whoa, missed me. Gonna have to try harder than that. Oh, felt something. In that one. Gurugugu said. Wait, that's someone else's catchphrase. You're gonna have to try harder than that if you, the spiral-like creature, had to quickly jump out of the way as an explosion tore off the tree the tree branch he was on. Ooh, missed it by that much, Nora said, all four members of Team Juniper walking into the clearing. You rang to help? John questioned, drawing in his sword and giving it a twirl. More people to play with? Yay! Can any of you tell me? Guru stated, but froze up when his gaze fell upon John's sword. Everything seemed to move in slow motion, a strange feeling overcoming the white spiral-like creature. What is this feeling? It muttered. Seconds later, a splitting shout shook Gurugugu out of its trance. It tried to jump up, but was too late, falling to the ground with an audible thud. I got him, Pira exclaimed, the smoke coming out from the barrel of her weapon. Apprehend him, Sasuke exclaimed, dashing towards Gurugudu. Please, darling, leave. Make haste and flee before my will succumbs. I will not, my dear. Why dost thou not flee whilst thou still hast the chance to? Because I love you, and I shall not leave thine side until the very end. I can't. Various images and what were presumably memories projected themselves onto the clearing in the eye of Gurugudu. Then all of a sudden they stopped, brought back to reality by the approaching form of Sasuke and Team Juniper. That sword! Gurugudu exclaimed, gripping his head as a searing pain coursed through his skull. Roots began sprouting out of its back erratically and crushing, slamming, and impaling everything around it. Don't go, my dear, don't go, it yelled, thrashing around as it did so. Somebody knock it out, Piero yelled. On it, John exclaimed, dashing forward. No, wait, Piero exclaimed, but it was too late. The roots that had sprouted from Guru Guru's body had coiled around the clearing, and one of the roots had shot out towards John. The blond leader of Team Juniper turned to see the incoming root, his eyes widening as he tried to avoid his incoming doom, but was unable to veer off of the path of the root, falling to the ground after tripping over another one of the roots. John! Piero yelled. John closed his eyes, preparing himself for what would most likely be his death. Only it never came. John quickly opened his eyes, only to find the root that had been rushing at him had stopped an inch before he could impale the blonde. What? John questioned, standing back up, the root moving in sync with him. He hesitantly raised up his sword hand to the root, only for the root to shrink back before he could come in contact with the weapon. What's going on? Ren asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind at the moment. I'm sorry. Please, my dear, forgive me, Guru yelled. John quickly took advantage of this new opportunity, dashing towards Guru and slamming the butt of his sword on the side of Guru's neck, instantly knocking the creature out. The moment Guru began unconscious, the roots began to recede back into its body. He's KO'd now, John said, Pyrrha quickly coming up and hugging him. Why did you do that? You could have died, Pyrrha exclaimed, crying into John's shoulder. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it, John apologized, fully embracing the red-haired girl. What did happen anyways? The roots look like Ren started. Like they were avoiding him, Sasuke finished, walking into the clearing, holding Sakura bridal style. Look, we can interrogate him later. Right now, Sakura-chan needs medical attention. Right, John replied, pulling Guru up with the help of Pyrrha. Team Archfiend dorm room. I'm serious. Aren't any of you guys curious about what those explosives were? Fu asked, having changed into her nightwear. I'm sure it was nothing, and if it isn't, we'll just deal with it in the morning, Roshi replied, flopping onto his bed in exhaustion. But Fu started, I'm tired, you're tired, Han's tired, Naruto's exhausted, we'll deal with it in the morning, Roshi stated. Speaking of which, where is Naruto? Han asked. Bean Academy dorm room rooftop. Meanwhile, on top of the dorm room's roofs, Naruto and Ruby were sleeping together, the former having been awakened by the sound of explosions, and the latter still asleep, her face buried into her boyfriend's neck as she held onto him in her sleep. Ruby, Naruto said. Ruby mumbled, burying her head deeper into Naruto's neck. Ruby, Naruto replied. Ruby mumbled a little louder. Ruby, Naruto exclaimed, finally waking the girl up. I'm up, Ruby exclaimed, shooting up and looking around frantically. What's wrong? Someone's coming, Naruto said, his eyes narrowing when he saw who it was. Who are you? End of chapter 29. The Maelstrom Hunter by Crimson QB Sage. Chapter 30 previews coming soon. The Maelstrom Hunter Shippuden preview. The light blonde-haired woman abruptly sat up in her bed, gasping desperately for air as if she had nearly drowned. She had broken out into a cold sweat, her skin paler than usual, and her pupils dilated. What's wrong? It didn't take long for one of the guards posted outside her room to break in, alert and prepared for any sorts of threats. I saw the end of the world. I can feel all this death. Shion, it was just a dream. Taeyang. Winter began, Crow on her left and Oobleck and Peter poured on her right. We found something out there, Crow stated, his hand in his flask as almost a comforting measure. Something that only you might understand. How ancient are we talking? Taeyang questioned. We have no records of this civilization. It predates anything we've ever seen. Yet, Crow trailed off. Yet, Tai, I can't describe it. This is one of those things you need to see to believe. I'll get my archaeological digging kit, Taeyang mumbled. That won't be necessary, Oobleck stated. The site in question, it's untouched, Peter said, even by nature itself. Vale, Ironwood started pressing a button on his remote and showing the rough footage that was recovered from various security cameras. Atlas machinery turning on people, grim of all kinds running through and tearing apart huntsmen and civilians and shinobi alike. The White Fang, Naruto and the rest of the team Archfiend flinched when they saw the video of an Atlesian Paladin 290 bring its foot up before proceeding to curb stomp a woman. Konhagakure, he continued pressing the button again and showing the videos that was recovered from the wreckage that was from nearly 4 months ago. The screen flickered in and out of static, but what could be seen was an Atlesian airship falling from the sky and into a commercial district of Konoha. Amity Coliseum, he added, showing the footage of the massive hovering arena plummeting towards the earth, potential hunters and huntresses falling off before they could react or being victims of the impact when it crashed with the ground. Oh gods, Fu gasped, covering her mouth with her hands in shock. Even their most stoic member, Han, had begun to look down at the ground, unable to watch any more of the video. Okay, that's enough, Naruto said. Naruto, people are afraid, Onwood said grimly. That's why we're here, right? Ruby questioned the cocking Crescent Rose to defend the people from dark forces, whatever form that takes. I'm game. Yang said, cracking her knuckles and popping her neck. I'm sorry, Sasuke. If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Naruto stated. Sometimes I wish I could. Sometimes I want to punch you in your teeth, dope. Sasuke retorted. Aspen, they aren't ready for this, Tsunade stated. I know we're not perfect, but the safest hands are still our own, Aspen retorted. Doesn't it ever wake you up in the middle of the night? The feeling that someday will come for you and your children, Setsu questioned, grinning a grin that seemed an aura of evilness. I feel a great swell of pity for the poor soul who comes to my school looking for trouble, Aspen stated, raising his cane up in a defensive stance. Tell me, what do you know, Guru? Ever since the beginning of history, there has been rumors of secret societies that believe that these strange creatures, one of which is in our custody, are some kind of second coming or a sign from the gods. What does that mean? Some believe that chakra and aura can be traced back to a single common ancestor, the first chakra and aura user, like some sort of primordial god or goddess, and that they are going to rise again, and they mean to destroy this world. You're going to join the Allied Shinobi forces, aren't you, Naruto? Ruby. Well, Team Archfiend, it's all of us against the god. That's one way to put it, Roshi. Forget everything you know, Glinda yelled. You aren't students anymore. You're guardians. Everything they've built, Madara began, her Sharingan flaring to life, will fall. The very earth rumbled and cracked underneath him. The empty husk of the Shinju rising up from the crater it made, and from the ashes of their world will build a better one. End of chapter 30, and the end of the series.